We have a couple quiet more weeks to go with WWE 2K26 as we saw the release of Season 2 last week. Now we know that Season 3 is coming out sometime in June, so May is going to be a pretty quiet month for us fans. Now, we do know that the WrestleMania 42 pack will be making its way to the game at some point in June as well. Last year, we got it on June 25th, so we want to go on ahead and get into the facts of this pack and also talk about the potential attires that we're going to get from WrestleMania 42. Let's go on ahead and get into that, but before we do, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Let's go. Last year, we got the WrestleMania 41 pack. June 25th, we got the characters, and that was Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, and Aleister Black. Now, one thing that we want to point out, in the description last year, we got a new playable superstar, TBA in parentheses. This year, for the WrestleMania 42 pack, it does not say that. It says 3 alternate superstar personas, and that is something that we have to keep in mind because we saw Paige debut and we instantly went in our heads, oh wait, that could mean that she somehow gets in WWE 2K26. Now, I'm not saying that it can't happen, and I'm not saying that she won't be a part of this pack, but what I'm saying is, if they do that, it is a different addition from what they mentioned in their description for the WrestleMania 42 pack. Now, with that being said, on the Nintendo page, it does say that we are getting this pack on June 1st. That would be 24 days earlier than from when we got the pack for WrestleMania 41. So that is also something to go on ahead and keep in mind with this. I think that the description does say a lot of where we are going with this pack. I'd be very surprised to see Paige in there. Now, I do think that there is a possibility that we do see Paige in October. I think that that's a legit possibility. And the reason why I think that is because we've gotten superstars in the past in that October edition, which seems to be the biggest edition of the year for 2K, and that's something that they've been doing for multiple years now, where we get some sort of superstar or something new within that edition. Now, everybody keeps saying Brock Lesnar, or Grande Americano, Aleister Black. I got news for y'all, man. A lot of these characters were already scanned and probably retouched before being put out. Paige hasn't been scanned since like 2K20, and we all know how that model looks. It doesn't really look all that good. So again, the reason why I say these things is so as a community, or those that watch me, right, can kind of temper their expectations, because I am somebody that I'm going to be very happy if Paige gets in this game, but I am not going to be disappointed or sad if she does not, because at the end of the day, that playable superstar that was promised last year in this description, it is not promised thus far, unless something changes. So just something to go on ahead and keep in mind with this pack so far. Now, as we know, there were tons of attires throughout WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, and I got some favorite ones that I definitely think deserve an attire change. We are getting up to 3 from what it says in the description, so we got to go on ahead and get into all that, man. And I think that for number 1, this may be a polarizing or controversial take, but I have to go with Penta, man. I think that, that attire is probably one of the best ones with the mask and everything. Now, do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, because according to my boy Kenny Baum, there was some sort of Mortal Kombat collab in there. I don't know if 2K can dip their toes in those waters, but we're going to go on ahead and throw Penta in there as an honorable mention, because I do think that attire was really, really cool looking. Now, there are plenty on community creations, and you can just go on ahead and switch his suit color, because that doesn't change. So it's not really, that crazy. Just the mask is really crazy. That would be what makes it worth it. So we'll go on ahead and throw him as an honorable mention. I don't think it will happen due to the circumstances, but that would be a cool one. Now, I think either Jade or Liv Morgan need one, in my opinion. Now, you may say, okay, there's a WrestleMania Persona cards on those. Why do we want those? Now, obviously, those WrestleMania Persona cards are behind paywalls, and Liv Morgan is somebody whose model currently right now, unfortunately, is not all that good. If we're being honest, it doesn't look great. So if you take this opportunity to run it back with a new Liv Morgan attire, that being her WrestleMania attire, I think that would be a more digestible option for a lot of players. You know what I'm saying? I know that a lot of people want, the men wrestlers to get updated, but I think Liv Morgan definitely deserves some love too, especially for those that are not spending money or don't play my faction enough to be able to obviously justify the prices that these Persona cards are locked behind. So that's where I'm going to leave that. I definitely think that if I had to pick between either of the two, I would probably go Liv, just because that model to me is not that good. Jade, you can kind of get away with it. I think that Jade's model is actually one of the best in the game. You may want to go on ahead and, take shots at the attire, sure, because that attire is about a year or two old. But overall, I think that she is in a better situation than Liv Morgan's model is in the game. Just my 2 cents with that. Now, my other option that I'm going to go on ahead and go with is Jacob Fatu. Just because, man, I definitely think that that attire was really cool. Now, I've seen some people say that it was ugly. I really liked it, man. I love the gold chain. I love the vest that he wore. I think that it's a really dope attire that unfortunately is not easy to recreate in WWE 2K26. I've already seen it, and it's not that it doesn't look good. It just doesn't look like what it looked like in real life. And again, that all has to do with the tools and the parts that creators have to deal with in game. So I'm not crapping on any of the creations out there. I just think that 2K would do a far better job, just because there are no limitations on their end in terms of getting that correct vest and all that good stuff being shown off for Jacob in the game. I definitely think that that could be a big one, and I think that he's somebody that needs a little bit of an update, even though he already got an update this year. But Jacob does look more refined, and we can also use another attire, because he's no longer using the shirt. So again, you can do that in community creations, but I think that the vest, again, that would be the touch for me with all of the attires. Now, the third one is super tough, but this one is a simple one for me, and that is Trick Williams. I think that he needs the attire change probably the most out of all the men right now, because this guy is so over, and we need a Persona card that bad. Now, if he is somebody that could get updated later on through the Ringside Pass or my faction, I completely get that. But I think that even though his attire was very, very simple, it is something that is just missing. If you look at his attire right now in 2K26, it don't look like Trick. I mean, yes, the face and everything looks like Trick, but let's be honest for a second. He don't look like he's wearing them lemon pepper steppers and that mint jacket. You feel what I'm saying? We need that version of Trick Williams in WWE 2K26 at whatever cost. I would personally like to see that in a way that we don't have to spend any more money behind this game. Just my 2 cents. I think that Trick really does need that, and unfortunately it's only 3 of them, right? And I don't want to say unfortunately like it's a bad thing, but I wish that we got like 5, right? Because again, there's 13 matches at WrestleMania, sometimes more, sometimes a little bit less, and you have so many participants that come out with really cool looking stuff, and unfortunately we're not able to get our hands on all of those. But the community does have us covered, so make sure you guys go on ahead and check out my last video on the WrestleMania 42 attires from Community Creations, just quickly pointing that out. There's just some stuff like Jade Cargill's coat that sometimes, bro, you just can't do that in game. You need to depend on them to go on ahead and get that done for us. So again, that's just where I'm at with these Persona cards. Those are my 3 choices. I know that I threw around a couple names. You can swap them in and out. But if I had to go on ahead and go with a final, Liv Morgan, Jacob Fatu, Trick Williams. Please, please, please do not put CM Punk or Roman Reigns. And Cody Rhodes was a hard one for me to leave out, but the reality is, y'all, there's already a Cody Rhodes that we can get through my faction that we seen last year. And unfortunately, man, it just comes down to just everything. Like, Cody Rhodes with the helmet and everything looks really good, but I don't think that we need another Cody. I think that we can get away without another Cody because his model already looks good, and there's so many community creations attires out there for him. And believe me, I am a Cody Rhodes guy. That is my favorite wrestler, but we're at a point right now where I don't think we need another Cody, especially with some of them already being available and just so many different attires that you can go on ahead and get out there. Just my 2 cents. I think that overall, I think that we are going to get a really nice pack. We need to see if June 1st is the definitive date, because that is also something to keep in mind. And again, y'all, May be a cold month for WWE 2K26, but we'll probably get some patches, and then in June, we'll probably get some bigger stuff because we do have that DLC pack, and we also got that WrestleMania 42 pack, and we'll definitely be talking about this and speculating over this. Make sure you let me know down below which creations or which attires, right, from WrestleMania you want to see 2K put in the game with that pack. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have been enjoying the videos. I'm going to catch y'all. Peace.